I want you to think about the last time you were really financially stressed, like staring at your bank account, stressed. Bill due, tomorrow, no money in the bank account. What did you do?
I don't know. I'm trying very hard not to connect with people right
Because I'm willing to bet it wasn't open a spreadsheet, run the numbers, make a rational long-term financial decision. And today I'm going to tell you exactly why. And it has nothing to do with discipline. Your nervous system has one job, one, keep you safe. And it is very, very good at it. The problem is, it was designed for this.
She's almost on it. Almost on it. Got it. She's got it.
Not this.
Turn off the light and light a candle.
But your nervous system doesn't know that it can't tell the difference between a lion chasing you and a $1,500 credit card bill. To your brain, financial threat and physical threat activate the exact same response. Your heart rate goes up, cortisol floods your system, blood flow shifts away from your prefrontal cortex. Remember that from your brain on debt? Rational brain offline, and everything redirects to your muscles so you can run or fight. That is your threat response. And when you are financially stressed, it is running constantly.
God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Except there's nowhere to run. The bill is still there, the debt is still there, and your nervous system is stuck in alarm. That is survival mode. There was a study, I'll link it in the description, on what financial stress actually does to your brain. And what they found should be on every credit card statement in America. They found that financial stress consumes what they called cognitive bandwidth, your mental capacity, the brain power you use for planning, problem solving, self-control, and making good decisions. And when that bandwidth is being eaten up by financial worry, you literally have less of it available for everything else. So I'm guessing you have a family to provide for, a job you have to perform well, people need to communicate with, and so many other obligations. But when you are financially stressed, you have less to give to these obligations. How much less?
Forget about what that word means. There's a fire breaking out in the language lobes. We need to get out of here.
Yeah. So I came across a study where they asked people to think about a $1,500 car repair they need right before taking the test. The people under this scenario showed a cognitive drop equal to losing a full night's of sleep or a 13-point drop in IQ. Come on, can you believe that? It's crazy to me that financial stress can reduce our IQ. Those same people without the $1,500 car repair scenario had completely different and higher test scores. So when you're drowning in debt and someone hands you a budget and says, just make better decisions, they are asking you to think clearly and make good decisions while your system thinks it's running from a lion. That is not a willpower problem. You can have all the willpower in the world and still fail at this. I want to take a minute to talk to you about burnout because one, I know a lot about it and have helped people through it. And two, burnout and broke are the same loop. Burnout isn't just being tired. Burnout is what happens when your nervous system has been in a threat response for so long that it stops recovering. Research on burnout And the neuroscience around it shows that under constant pressure, your amygdala, which is your brain's alarm system, becomes overactive. So set off for everything.
Come on, Riley, get it together. Riley, for this one.
And at the same time, your prefrontal cortex, rational brain, shrinks in volume under chronic stress, not metaphorically, but physically. The part of your brain responsible for planning, impulse control, and long-term decision making gets smaller. So burnout and broke are not two separate problems that you're dealing with at the same time. They are in a loop where they are feeding each other. Burned out, nervous system in threat mode, bandwidth gone. Make a poor financial decision, more financial stress, more burnout, repeat.
Are you kidding me?
Before you start to think this is just theory, let me give you some numbers. Ready? 41% of Gen Z runs out of money nearly every month, not because they aren't trying. But I do want to add this. This is pretty standard for the age range and stage of life. But when my generation was that age, the research showed prefrontal cortex developed by 25. So we could pull out of it. 47% of Gen X and millennials are living paycheck to paycheck right now in 2026. Once again, standard for the age range. I completely remember living on top ramen and a dream. If you're enjoying this video and my content, make sure to like and subscribe so that you'll be notified when I post new videos weekly. Back to it. Gen Z financial insecurity jumped from 30% in 2024 to 48% in 2025. That's an 18% jump in 1 year. This is different because as you get older, your prefrontal cortex is getting closer to full development, meaning you can analyze risk better, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. But we can also bring input in like 8% cost of living increase during that time and only a 2.5 to 3% raise in your paycheck. The math alone is stressful and not mathing. So additionally, 41% of Gen Z experience financial guilt at least once a week. This doesn't really strike me as surprising. I remember my brother and I having a conversation around that age about if we need money fast and are willing to be grilled about why we didn't budget well enough, we would go to dad. But if we were okay getting it in a week or two without any questions, mom was where we went for the extra finances. So guilt is there. I believe it's a natural part of life and growing, but there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, there isn't one for Gen Z.
We came up with a series like, fuck it, you know?
So the guilt is there and it's real. But what it does to your nervous system is keep the threat response active. And that alone tanks your bandwidth, which makes the next financial decision worse, which creates more guilt. So you're not failing at budgeting, you're exhausted, and your brain is in survival mode. And nobody is connecting those dots for you until now. The answer is not more discipline. The answer is not better spreadsheets. And the answer is not cutting out Whataburger, because I'll die on that hill. The answer is nervous system regulation first, financial strategy second. Because when you reduce the threat response, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. Your bandwidth opens back up, and suddenly the decision that felt impossible starts feeling manageable. That's not woo-woo positive mindset bullshit. It's neuroscience. So what does that look like practically?
And all you fellas need to do is believe it.
First, Name the stress. Research shows that naming what you're feeling, I am stressed about this bill, I am scared about this debt, activates your prefrontal cortex. The act of labeling reduces the amygdala activation. You start thinking more clearly just by saying out loud what's happening. Or do a brain dump. I do these all the time. Get it all out, everything. Stop holding it in, dump it all out onto paper. Not as a to-do list, a light it up and watch it burn list, so you can let it go at least a little bit. Second, shrink the decision. Your capacity is limited when you're in survival mode. Don't try to solve everything at once. Pick one thing, one debt, one number, one action. That's it. Only one right now. Don't start to spiral looking down the list. What is the most urgent? And work on that. The one. Third, regulate before you decide. Before you make any financial decisions, when you're stressed, take a breath. Literally, deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the off switch for your threat response. 30 seconds, then decide. Really focus on a long exhale here. That tells your body it's safe. This is why PAYDUCK, a little side project I'm working on right now, matters. Because when you're already running on empty, the last thing you need is to also figure out which debt to pay first, in what order, with what math. The software does that part. Your job is to regulate enough to take the next step. But I'll tell you more about PAYDUCK. As usual, links for everything I referenced today are in the description below. Duck, duck, whoop, whoop.